games I bought when I got it last Christmas or whatever that I have not yet played.
Oh yeah, I've still played like 10 minutes of Moss, I think.
That's what's one of them. I have Moss, never opened it yet.
Oh, Moss 2 is on sale. I should buy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wait.
I almost bought it too. I was like, maybe I should play Moss 1 before I worry about buying Moss 2.
Yeah.
I think I've played like the tutorial level of Climb. I have that rock climbing game, Climb.
Oh yeah, that looked pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I was surprised that I jumped back into Beat Saber and did pretty well. You know, I'm up to like level 10 now. I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna suck at this because I haven't played it in many, many months.
I need to try that ping pong game again at some point.
Yeah, I jumped back into Beat Saber. It took a day to get back into it. Now I'm just like, I got
Ragnarok, man. I don't know
the techno pack for that, which has Sandstorm on it, which is real intense.
It's like a roller skating rink here.
And I'm like playing on level 3 of 5. I'm just like my arms hurt.
I'm still baffled that you like 100%ed Ragnarok or whatever, just because like even though I'm doing pretty well, it's just there's always like just like one missed drum or something that'll fuck everything up, even though like I'm real good the rhythm, but I'll be like, one little missed drum.
Yeah, I've definitely hit my ceiling there because there's a few of the new songs, especially like the Glory Hammer songs that like the 5-star or the 10-star level or whatever. It's like I only have 2 arms.
What do you expect of me?
And angular momentum prevents them from moving that fast. So let me just use my wrists. Yeah.
Have you all done the Mist Fox Hunt yet?
Nope.
Keep my dirty mouth closed.
Oh, looking forward to it though.
Should really just play Mist before we go through the whole thing.
Oh no.
I tried.
Watch it walk
my
through.
dad had that game when I was a kid, and I was a little too young to like really get all the puzzles. So I just like was stuck and frustrated.
Oh, that's
I had the same feeling when I was like 30. Yeah. Same.
I came to it fairly recently and just couldn't get anywhere on it. I thought I was smart and good at this.
I was gonna say, because like you, Mark, and Roy are all to me like who I would imagine would do really well at those types of games, and I don't remember it being that frustrating. I remember really digging it, but I haven't played it in God knows how long.
Partly that's like kind of like early video game puzzle design, which is a little clunky sometimes, or like, you know,
before they had like determined what's too hard.
Yeah, like put the cans in the right order.
What you can reasonably expect people to.
Yeah,
there
like,
you go.
That compared with the like I played it on a
like I know the answers
like a 1X CD-ROM drive when it came out. So it's like, okay, try this thing. Okay, that didn't work. Great. I'll take a step back then.
Yeah, I feel like I guess in the early days that's before they'd found like what's the optimal balance between challenge and frustration.
Yeah, and how do you put subtle cues, and like if you look at The Witness, there's all this subtle like teaching you how the puzzles work as you go.
Yeah.
And getting you in the headspace of the person making the game, so that the challenge is not where are you at? It's more like, oh, here's where you're at. Here's the conditions of the puzzle. Now I can look it up.
Or if you look it up or something and you're like, I would have never
playing the game
figured that out.
Did you ever get the ending where they like took their headset off and then like were a developer wandering around the
I did not get to that ending. Did you hear the story about Paul Henderson getting to that ending accidentally on his first playthrough?
No. Yeah. Yeah. Like, apparently the person you are in The Witness is the game designer who is like running a QA run of the game. And then when it's over, you like go out and you're in your apartment and like, oh, there's patterns and everything.
Oh, don't tell me. No spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
Is it safe?
It's safe.
Okay.
I don't think I got that. I don't remember. It's been so long. I know I've played it and finished it, but
It's fine. I'll forget by the time I play it again. I like played a little while and then was like, this is cool.
It was cool, yeah.
But I got distracted.
The kiddo's dad really loves Myst and really hated playing The Witness. He's like, it's just one puzzle. And meanwhile, I'm thinking, yeah, it's just one puzzle.
No, it's
Speaking of, how is the household?
We are, both of the kids have COVID and they are sequestered in like Brent's ensuite area of the house. Weirdly, none of the adults are sick. I mean, it kind of makes sense for Lindsay and I because we're in the other part of the house, but somehow Brent is just getting hit by COVID from all sides and is not getting ill.
Yeah, maybe that vaccine is doing his job.
That's our guess. Like, we are much more recently vaccinated with bivalent boosters and everything than the kids are. So knock on wood.
Yeah, me too.
It looks like the younger one is testing positive, but it's like the line is now just barely there. The other one is still full blown COVID on, but neither of them have bad symptoms.
That's good.
It may be that they're not like doing anything expulsive. They're not coughing or sneezing or anything like that. So that probably helps for.
I feel like that's an area where the vaccines are helping a lot because most people I know who are catching it now, it's like very mild and they're not. They're like, oh, it ain't bad. It's like a little cold. I'm fine.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And it's good.
We had to cancel. We're supposed to have band practice Sunday, which we had to cancel because our guitar player, who's married to our keyboard player, just got back from a trip from San Francisco and immediately tested positive for COVID.
Oh no! Oh. Is that for Yahtzee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knock on all things wood. I'm still a COVID unicorn.
Yeah.
I think we are too.
I think I may have gotten it like in like March of 2020, but that was before. I was like, that was before they sent everyone home from work. And I was like, I feel kind of, I might have just had a flu, but I was like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out while I'm lecturing, and I have a fever, so I'm going home. And they're like, yeah, go home. And then next week they were like, never come back.
Oh yeah, they were like, stay home for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like, okay, cool. That sounds great to me.
And
turn into 2.5 years.
Never come back to the office ever.
Also works great for me.
I do kind of wish there was like a test I could take just to see, like, if you could see if you ever had it without knowing it or whatever.
Right.
Just because I'm curious. I'm like, I can only think of one. Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering, but I didn't know like how long they stuck around. You're like, if you'd had it like a year ago, would you still show up with antibodies or how that would work? I didn't really know.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to test for eye cells, and I don't know how they. I think they mostly would be hiding, and you wouldn't have numbers.
I think I've only been sick one time, and that was that time I posted about where like I tested 4 or 5 times over the course of a week and all negative. So I was like, nope, I think this is good old fashioned cold.
Yeah.
But other than that, but then I worry, it's like, because am I one of those weirdos who maybe had it was asymptomatic and just spread it around?
Yeah.
Or just felt slightly off for a day or two.
So right now we only technically have the one active threat. But I will introduce the Mastermind Threat.
You mean our best friend, who's a goose?
Best friend. And you know what? If you don't solve it, you'll just have a goose. So
yeah, I'm gonna keep making him do chores until he dies.
So the only question you have for that one is, how can the curse be reversed or removed? It's a complexity 6, and you have 3 clues right now. So
geez. So we haven't even answered it.
No. And this coming night phase is the last night phase to save Lewis.
So then,
that's a good high stakes time for
what
Lewis.
phase are we in right now?
We're just starting day phase.
So we still could get theoretically some clues and answer the question before nighttime.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a complexity 6, and you have 3 clues, which means you can, as long as you have half the number of clues required, you can answer it, and you can always burn a mask to get it right if you want to. So,
but I mean, we might as well use our day phase to try to get some clues, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a goose day.
Goose day, goose day.
Since it was a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about what happened last time, and I think the session ended up with, was it Francis that blew off the Shoreditch Slugger's head with the shotgun, or was that someone else?
It was Francis.
Yeah, I think it was Francis. Yeah. Francis having a King of Mars moment.
Yeah, and then you gave a rousing speech and turned to everyone on the breath whites. Teddy got swept up in the crowd at some point, and Cyrus grabbed you and said, "Run!" And you ran, and the camera pulled back to see the crowd running towards Brathwaite Hall and people disappearing in little silver puffs of smoke. And that's where we left that.
I'm sure.
Oh, I remember it now. Mark was telling me the ending earlier today, and I was like, "What?
That doesn't sound like that."
That doesn't
TV show
sound
that
like.
happened?
Is that a show you watched? I don't remember that happened. The silver puffs reminded me. Well, she's got the camera.
And, and
like,
Paloma got
what happened?
knocked the fuck out by Bad Francis and stayed down.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
just
Bad
stayed down the
Francis
whole
isn't.
episode.
Yeah.
So we have like a
watching
Rosh,
the whole
we can
thing
have
sideways.
we have Rashomon episode, and Polly's part is
Yeah.
horizontal. It's only feet in horizontal.
Yeah, so it is
Love it.
day phase. And where are we? Hunters. Boom. I'm going to present our last and final threat. And I don't have anything written up for it yet, so I'm just going to talk through it and then write it down as we get it. So I think you get home probably late-ish morning, and I think Cyrus Abernathy is waiting for you in his sitting room. Probably we didn't go with you. Vittoria went with you.
Like not an introvert's house. Everyone's always visiting.
Oh yeah, it's like a college house with monsters.
It's like a Ibsen play where you're like,
Yeah.
"You're gonna fucking visit all the time."
Just come over.
Do any of these doors lock? They
Yeah,
slam clearly, but do they lock?
You clearly slam.
I think
Mark.
maybe
What
Azriel.
was
I
it?
think maybe Azriel let him in. So
God damn it, Azrael.
So Cyrus showed up before you did, and Azriel was like, "Oh, you're a friend of Mother's." Where did I have my book? I have my book somewhere. Oh, there. In my bag from when? Nope. I don't know. I have my notes somewhere. Yeah. Actually, I know where they are. I'll be here. One moment.
Okay.
I do notice that both Paloma and I could do with some condition removal as well.
Oh, okay.
Paloma
Oh,
being
yeah.
beaten to a pulp and me being tainted.
Oh yeah. I'm
The reason I
pretty
noticed
rough.
is because I was like, oh, I want to perform a ritual, but if I use my ritual chamber, that gives me tainted. But I'm already tainted. So maybe I should get untainted before I retaint.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of taint.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure Azrael is horrified to see me.
You are beaten to a pulp.
I had a
Sound.
special note for Azriel too. I don't. Oh yeah, I remember what it is now.
Finally, he didn't come out during the night phase.
I know.
That we know of.
Back to the
Azrael.
Rashomon.
He has like bruised knuckles.
Oh God.
Are you bad, Francis? You
You
can
didn't
tell me.
recognize me. Yeah.
You can tell me.
He's also a master of disguise.
I'm gonna get one of those brochures from the doctor's office. How to know if your child is a bad Francis.
Did you bring Paloma? Did you bring something home? Oh no, it was Harley's head, right? That you left in the basement with him.
Has Paloma seen Hurley's head?
I think so.
Wait,
Probably.
I was gonna say,
Oh, maybe
I stashed Harley's head in the lab. I don't know if Paloma knows it's there yet.
All right. Good.
At
Good.
some point in time, it was there, and she did not know it was there yet. But I don't remember if we'd ever dealt with that. I don't think we have.
Yeah, because I think Verith saw it. I think it's up to Verith if they shared that with us.
Yes.
Yeah, I think. Well, Mark asked last time, and I think I remembered that. Like, oh yeah, I forgot. I'd stashed it. I decided I had put it in your lab, And we'd gotten busy with other things, and I'd forgotten to even bother to tell you about it.
That sounds exactly right. Yeah. So it's like in a box that I'm going to open one day.
Yeah, there's a mystery box at Scott Harley's head that I've forgotten to tell you about at this point.
So I think the scene is you come in a little bit late. Maybe you notice, I think Cyrus actually has a car that he drove back, or a carriage.
Yeah.
Car. Beep beep.
What is the fuck is that?
I brought it from the void. So he's there, and he is taking tea in the sitting room, and Azrael is serving him. And I think I think he is charmed by Azrael. And when he sees you come in, he's like, "Oh, Francis, I'm so glad you followed my instructions and got home safe. I didn't know you had gotten yourself a wonderful little serving boy." Azrael kind of,
oh no.
I think Paloma's like, and is hoping that Francis will interrupt. It's like, well, Azrael is of this. Not that there's anything wrong with being of a different class, but Azrael is of the same class as we are.
I think Azrael might take a little bit of affront to that as well.
Oh no.
And I think, and Paloma's also like, wow, I think I've got some fucking classes.
Azrael actually, I think, gives Paloma a little stink eye, and just like, the mother, and I'll be in my room.
What'd I do? Oh my gosh, I never know.
Stop.
Children, right, Cyrus?
And I think after Azrael leaves, he's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you." And like, as soon as Azrael leaves, his like mask drops, and he's just like, "Francis, I've done something terrible."
God damn it.
Okay, and I think Francis, I don't know. I think there's like a moment of kind of an almost haunted look on Francis's face before he slides back into, "Oh, I'm sure it's not as bad as all that," pouring himself a cup of tea. "Let's just sip on the Darjeeling here and see and get to the bottom of things."
I'm afraid I've not only put you in grave danger, as you were last night, but perhaps anyone of status in London at all, up to and including the Queen herself.
Oh, I'm sure it can't be that bad, Cyrus. Let's just hear it out about what happened. Who did you offend when you were in an argument? And
you of course have been too polite to notice that Portia has not been with me the last few times we've met.
Yeah, and I honestly think Francis has had no idea. Yeah. And he's just like, blink, blink. Oh, well, one tries not to draw attention to such things.
We've been kind of busy.
I'm sure she's been indisposed for sensible reasons.
As has she. She has been, well, frankly, she handed over our camera to Ms. Brathwaite, and for a good reason, she assured me, but then she disappeared and appeared to, I assume she was taking in her company, but you remember the proposition that Theodora made on the night of the dinner party?
And this is a proposition that Cyrus was already in on, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. Vague about its consequences, but the proposition was made.
Yes, your friend Sarah, who was there at the time, made a very good point that you should not agree to things without fully understanding what they are. I was also in the employ of Miss Brathwaite for what I thought was an entirely different reason. You see, I'm as you know, an enthusiast, cameras and optical equipment.
Of course.
And given a challenge, as I'm sure Dr. Safi knows well, given a challenge that seems insurmountable, of course, I put my mind to nothing but that task.
Makes sense.
I think Francis just blinks at this.
She enlisted me to create a set of lenses that would fit on a camera. I did not know it was our camera, that would allow it to take pictures at a great distance, not only zooming into the subject, but absolutely telescopic, which I believe I executed very well, such that the camera could
of course you did.
Take a picture of someone a mile away, I'm sure.
How impressive.
Clearly.
Well done, Cyrus. Good work, sir.
You have the world's first sniper camera.
Don't know how you do this magic, but your wizardry knows no bounds.
It's not I that does the magic. I'm afraid
Popping off his tea.
It's Miss Brathwaite. She has attached my invention to the Whately camera. Whately camera. And as you may or may not have noticed last night, is able to use it to great effect to send those photographs into the void at a distance now, not only in the sitting room that they are in as was before, but now no one is safe.
Paloma goes and closes the windows. Like goes and like starts closing curtains.
And I think Francis has a moment where he doesn't know why she's closing the windows, and then just kind of stops himself as the penny drops. What? Oh, right. All right then. So one of the most powerful women in London has an unstoppable device to send anyone she wants into a formless void beyond the world we know.
Yes. And it's possible that she is now the most powerful woman in London. I don't know how closely you follow the newspapers, but some of the more lurid tabloids have commented on the fact that Queen Victoria has not been seen in public for several days. And I'm beginning to worry that Brathwaite has already put her plan into motion.
How close is Brathwaite Hall to the Omega Cliffs? I just asked.
It's on the other side of London.
Okay.
A lot of dragging. To get
There's a
Gerald
lot of dragging.
involved.
All right, plan B it is then.
Chopped up in tiny pieces.
Oh no.
So I have not written the threat out yet, but the gist of it is that Brathwaite is the threat. She has been using the camera on people at a distance thanks to Cyrus's invention. And I think the two questions are going to be on the order of what has she done, or who has she used the camera on already, or she's used it on people. What is the result of that? And then the second question is, how can you reverse those results?
Sounds like we need a ritual to go into the void.
Indeed.
And rescue.
Fortunately, we have someone
Queen
who's a ward of the
Victoria.
void.
I am a
probably.
ward of the void. But we'll worry about that later. We have more pressing things today.
Yeah, my face hurts so much.
He of course offers. He's very he's just torn apart by the trouble he's caused, and offers his services in any aspect that would be useful to you.
Okay, this is probably not the most sensible thing, but
Yes.
well, old chum, the first thing you can clearly do is let's see, is tell us anything you might have overheard about what sort of sinister plan is at play here, or Like, where is the camera sending people? Have you heard anything about that?
Well, I wish Sarah was here so she could explain better. There's a void, not fruitful void, a fragrant void.
Fructose void.
That
Fruitful void.
And I don't know if it was intentionally or unintentionally, it was Portia who understood how to operate the camera in that manner. Certain guests of the Society Obscura have disappeared into, and we have made, as you know, that I'm obsessed with alternate realities.
Of course, everyone knows that about Cyrus.
I'm afraid I'm not as attuned as some people and haven't been able to actually cross over or investigate the void. But I understand that Gareth, your other friend, was able to enter it on the property. And so I imagine that wherever they are sent is somewhere in there.
Is Verith around for this conversation?
I assumed I was, but
yeah. I don't think he knows anything about the like, God, I wish Gareth was here, or Sarah even.
I thought about trying to explain, but it was just like, it's probably not even relevant right now.
Probably.
Has Miss Braithwaite retrieved anyone back from that strange void that she keeps sending people off to?
And I think he looks horrified at that suggestion. Or
brought anything back from there.
Yes. It is my hope that is not her intention to bring anyone or anything back from that void. For you remember Periwinkle?
Yes, charming boy.
He has been seeing visions after his encounter with your friend Gareth.
Mm-hmm.
There are things in that void that should not exist in this world. And if Braithwaite ever discovers this or decides to bring them back, I fear not only London, but all mankind would be destroyed.
Oh,
some really good trailer quotes happening in this episode. So you're telling me that the most powerful in the world.
And he sits down exhausted and just raises his teacup.
Pours more tea. Moves over a tray of biscuits.
A brave house can't tackle this. No one can.
That is why I came here. Knowing that Theodora would surely have something terrible done to me if she knew I'd come to you with this information.
Well, let's just keep you under wraps here for now.
If it's not too much trouble, if you have the room.
Of course.
Oh, we have many.
The first time I don't want to make someone our roommate.
Oh no. What is the serial killer room that we never use?
The Reavers.
No, I am really fine with it, but I was like, oh wow, I've been trying to make every enemy our roommate, and then
we have a lovely music room. It may have a little bit of black goo on everything.
Oh yeah.
Still a lovely room.
Conservatory full of poisonous plants.
Don't go in the music room if there's a sock on the door.
Oh God.
Cool. And with that, the day is yours. He's happy to hang out at Hargrave and not get poofed.
Yeah, that's the term that we'll use.
So I'm figuring Paloma and I could have some kind of intimate scene to get rid of some conditions.
Yeah.
Hers is fairly obvious. They're beaten to a pulp, so I imagine we would go to the infirmary for her to infirm herself.
I think I was going to make a bath of salts and just lay in it and regenerate.
I'm not exactly sure how to tackle my tainted.
Yeah.
With
Maybe
Maybe we
absolute
both
knowledge.
maybe we both make bathtubs. I have like medical stuff in mine, and you have like witchy stuff in yours, and we're just sitting in two clawfoot tubs in the infirmary, just drink absinthe and
Yeah, I like this
having
Living
plan.
your best life.
and then Francis has to pull up next to us to talk to us.
Cool. So bath time in the infirmary.
Yes,
Sounds great.
2 bathtubs. Maybe
Intimate
one
away.
is like clawfoot and one is like a big barrel.
You're doing medical things. I'm adding like herbs and things to my
Yeah.
bath and charms and crystals.
Tentacles.
It's always amazing to me, the crossover, though. You were right, Vareth. Medicine and science are not so different.
No, it's true. No, I mean, I firmly believe that the mystical is merely science we do not yet understand.
Mm.
Perhaps
Oh, and
someday.
before we get too far into the day, did you all change your dawn questions to what you want?
Oh, it's good. Let me check. Forgot. Remember. I don't remember, but I'll keep them. I mean,
Cool.
Good as any. As good as
I
any.
haven't been doing these ones, so I think I'm going to keep trying to be romantic. Yeah, I like that it gets me in trouble.
As a matter of fact, my conversation was heading towards fulfilling
Yeah.
one of those questions, kind of by accident.
That's why I wanted to
feel
check.
like, yeah. I mean, think about it, Roma. The things we now know already as medical answers to things and solutions, not so many years ago would not have been known or would have been seen as some kind of witchcraft if you had put a certain chemical on someone to heal their woes. It's just now we know how they work. I feel the supernatural is the same. It's just perhaps through people like me and in conjunction with people like you, we'll gather a better understanding of the supernatural world until perhaps one day we understand the physics of it and the exchanges of particles or energies that happen.
There's one piece missing, and I think I finally have something that can help us fill in that piece. I think that to me, the human brain is the part that I don't understand, because there are cures for things that aren't actually based in any science, and when we look at it, actually have no mystical quality, but it's just in the belief of it. And Anna used to tell me that was often the strongest way to cure or manipulate or whatever nefarious purpose she wanted to. So I wonder, I do have her journal. I wonder if there is, it is often territory I dare not go, but I do think that the human brain does put one extra twist in that, in terms of when people believe something hard enough, it might be something beyond magic or science.
Yes, do not speak of what is commonly known as or at least that could have to do with the placebo effect. That's purely the power of the mind.
Yes, but the witches call it manifesting. So,
and you know what else supernatural and medicine have in common is that the same
good drugs.
That as well. But what could cure you can equally be a poison or a death sentence.
Yes, I was married to that once.
It's the same with dark entities. They can be used to remedy ills, or if they get out of control, or perhaps the wrong dosages. Bad mojo.
They do speak of people who take small quantities of poison.
Indeed.
In order to develop is that what you're doing?
Well, I mean, absinthe technically is a poison, is it not?
Small and sometimes large quantities of dark entities in order to inoculate yourself.
Somewhat, because it is true that I would probably have much more resistance and control over them than, say, someone who had not dabbled in these arts as much as I have.
This is groundbreaking for me, because I'd always, coming from the sciences and I'd always thought that things needed to be purified, to be absolute. Things are often worth the most when we purify them, when we find the particulate, an alloy, however, is stronger. And the cure is often made of poison. So I believe
your glass is far too bereft of poison right now. You need a little more.
That's fair. That's fair. I just wonder sometimes if Azrael sees me as having a child really puts a mirror up to everything I do. And I had been so single focused for so long, and I just wonder if he doesn't see me as some kind of stick in the mud.
I think that any child is a challenge for a parent, a new journey, and each one unique, each one different. There's no one path that would work for every parent. But I do believe you have an extra layer of challenge with Azrael. He is definitely more unique than most
Constantly
children.
Seeking out danger. And to me, the dosage of the danger that he seeks out is way too much. If I could inoculate him, if I could expose him to risk in a way that I knew would protect him, then I would. But he's constantly wanting to go out with us, and that could mean the end of him, and that would be the end of me. And I suppose that's the nature of risk, is that it isn't safe.
Indeed. There is no correct answer. You'll never know the right answer. But just judging purely from what you've just said to me, trying to be a mirror back to you of what I'm hearing, is it sounds to me like that it would be good for you as well to perhaps let him come from time to time when you see fit, knowing it will expose him to some risk. That helps you both let go of that fear a little bit. You can't always protect him. And also, as you mentioned, a bit of controlled exposure to risk. And if he's going to be exposed to risk, is it not better that he is with us as opposed to, say, when he has ventured out after us on his own without us knowing?
Yeah.
And is exposed all by himself if he had gotten caught unawares?
When I was with Anna, she tried to tell me that control was love. And I think what I've learned from being with you and with Francis and with people who actually love me is that when there is love, there can't actually be, when I'm trying to control him, I'm telling him that I do not trust him. And I need to show them that I trust him. And that is so painful.
We want to protect the ones we love, but we also must accept at some point that is an impossible bar to achieve.
And I have to admit, lying there on the bottom of the fighting pit, I realized that I have also changed, that I also have become a bit overprotective of myself. I used to pursue the goal of having a child without any care for the consequences, even if it be death. But lying there at the bottom, I realized these days I want to live. And that feels very messy.
And you've made me realize myself as well that yes, I don't want to perish in the upcoming fight that may be one of our largest challenges ever. I would like to see us victorious, that we may continue learning and helping others and growing into our full selves. Clinky, clinky.
This is not, we have come a long way, my friend. This is not, these were not the attitudes we had when we first met.
Indeed.
Cool. Go ahead and clear your beaten up and tainted. If it's your vice, Varith, you can also stumble upon a clue or invite the other hunter to ask you about your past.
Much as I hate to be boring, I'm gonna stumble upon a clue.
Yay!
Clue in the
tub. Clue in the tub.
Cool. Tell me what it is.
Just the goose head coming up.
I think that now at the end of our conversation, I noticed, I'd had the herbs and crystals and oils and things I'd added to my bath, and so they're kind of over on a little table where they were separated into individual elements. And I look over and the goose is over there, kind of like picking at some of them, because especially like the herbs, which are just different kinds of plants. And I'm like, no, Lewis, and he particularly as he's eaten all of one of them, which luckily is not toxic, but very tasty. But there's another one right as I look over, he's just started to nibble at, and he immediately blah, 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 and it's like sputtering, spitting it out. It becomes very apparent that Lewis or the combination of entities that currently is Lewis does not like that particular herb.
Ooh.
Which I'm open to suggest if anyone has an idea of what that herb might be for any reason other than randomly picking one.
We had oleander show up in an earlier one, but that's poison, and that would make sense.
Gooseberry. What smell geese hate? Geese hate the smell of methyl ethranolite more than anything else.
Since this is
grape juice.
I'm thinking this is a clue. The reason they're opposed to it is because of the way it interacts with the combined.
Yeah, what are we trying to solve with this goose?
This question is how to reverse or remove the.
So this might be an herb that could help drive the boy's soul out of the goose.
Or one that was used. That could be, yeah.
We have to invent grape Kool-Aid.
Let's see, protective spells for safe travels. Travel spells, no, that's not. Okay, I'm seeing Moonwort being used in the travel spell.
Let's go with that. Let's just go with it. I like the name.
Yeah.
Lewis does not like the taste of Moonwort. Is your clue? I think the four.
And also grape Kool-Aid. But he hasn't had grape Kool-Aid yet.
I'll be right back because in my effort to become better hydrated, I have to pee all the time now.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it works.
That is.
Cool. Francis, what are you up to besides playing snooker?
Yeah, that was my first instinct, is that he's got this snooker table and that he's just passing the time idly.
Yes.
Is there anything useful that Francis can be doing right now? Like, he's not good at research or anything. And I guess there's no one in London I can really talk to about the Arderly stuff that's going on. I don't know.
Oh yeah, where is Lewis these days? Oh, Lewis is in the bathtub. That's right. Yeah.
In the infirmary. Is there an expert Francis might know?
Ooh, maybe. Yeah.
Like, did we encounter any characters on earlier threats that seem to know about the void and stuff like that?
Oh, I mean, there was all the
stumbling around here.
They're all pretty much in the. Let me open up that threat.
Actually, yeah, Cyrus might know as a member of the Society Obscura.
Yeah. Whitley camera. Let's see. There's Bert, Portia, Cyrus, Periwinkle, and the various members of the society who are our side characters there. Yeah, if you want to chat with Cyrus about it and try to get a clue.
Yeah, this does seem like the most natural thing of just like Because Cyrus is probably going to ask Francis what they're up to, maybe just to make conversation. And so he's like setting his cue aside. And it's just, okay, let me tell you. We have a goose. And then he just takes another shot and then, oh, right, yes. But we have cause to believe that this goose has exchanged spirits with a young boy out of Arderley, causing imminent danger to them both and confusion to no end to each creature. And I have the utmost respect for the Society Obscura and for its investigation of the mysteries, but we are finding this notion of, what would we call it? Not transubstantiation, but some sort of movement of the soul to be well beyond us. But it almost seems like something like that camera is at play. Instead of moving things out to this void, it's moving them from one creature to another. Has the society ever encountered anything like this?
Maybe let's do an information move.
Okay.
This sounds like reason.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Unless you want to, you could probably push for another thing. I'm not sure.
I don't.
Maybe
Well, I
sensitivity?
mean,
I
yeah.
guess it would be a reason, I think. But
yeah, you make a sound argument there. I got myself into this one. And do I have any objects left? I do have the Rogan's Botanical Elixir for Men and the baking peel.
baking peel.
I don't see a normal way of using either of those.
All right.
My apologies, group. At least it's just an
None.
information move.
None
So this
needed.
is 2d6 minus 1.
2d6 minus 1.
Worth it for
God.
the entertainment.
We can't always do only what we're good at.
Usually don't.
Exactly.
Rolling 2d6 minus 1. That's a 3.
All right.
Yes.
Oh god.
You can't be good, be interesting.
Oh man.
Yeah. Let me see here.
So I would have had to, if I had advantage on that, I would have still had to have an extra like 5 or 6 on top of that.
Yeah.
Just to get
Yeah.
a mitigated success.
So the question was, has the society ever observed something like the soul switching?
Yeah.
I think he
Murders you on the spot.
Deads
Deads you to the wound.
ooh, yeah.
It was a heel turn in the works all along.
I think he is about to say something when there is a knock on the front door.
Oh no. Okay,
Dang it.
Francis answers the door.
Never good. Never good in this game.
And
And someone has delivered a pie. Francis,
I think it
no.
is, as you
Eating
open the
it on those
door,
pies.
it is Portia Abernathy standing at the front door in a like very fancy white dress and hat and veil and all that, and even has like a little white walking stick with a crystal, what looks like a crystal or glass orb on the end,
Oh, God.
and is just like, as soon as she sees your face, it's just scowling. She says, I understand that my husband is here.
I think Francis is going to try and bluff this.
Yes.
Just
Excellent.
not because it's a good idea, but because he's
It's a
Francis.
great idea.
The habit, the lying habit.
Yes.
Strong.
Blink, your husband? Oh, Cyrus. Yes, where has he been lately?
Well, he was most recently in his carriage, which is outside of your house.
Oh, I wonder if he's coming for a visit. That would be lovely to see him. He is such a lovely man.
I hope nothing's happened to him.
I hope nothing's happened to him. Yes.
What are you afraid might happen if she does not buy this bullshit?
Oh Well, I mean, I know she's not going to buy this one.
At least this won't be with reason. At least it won't.
I
be
mean,
with reason.
what is? I think she's going to cast some kind of spell with that
Ooh,
pain on Hargrit, on Francis himself.
right.
Like, okay, the idea I have in mind is that she is going to cast a spell such that she gets Cyrus out of there, perhaps violently, and Francis cannot tell anyone about it.
I love it. I think this is going to be a roll with composure, since you're trying to keep your lie together. So that's a +2. That's not bad.
+2. Do I have, does the elixir for men help with this, or do I want to hold on to that?
I mean, theoretically, you could say like you had split a shot with Cyrus, and it's giving you extra manly powers.
I mean, that's cool, but also I kind of want to see what happens if this goes wrong. So I will go without objects and just roll 2d +2.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right. That's a 12.
Amazing.
Why is this one working?
She is still scowling, but she thinks that you're too in the moment to maintain a lie like that. And after a little bit more prodding, I don't know how to make she was going to wait for him, but she's like, well, if you do see him, tell him that he is not welcome at home.
Oh dear. Well, if I come across him, I'll give him the sad news. Anything else to tell him, or?
I'm in the process of selling the building in which the society parties were held.
Oh,
So
interesting.
all of his things will be sent to him wherever he winds up.
What sort of price might it command on the market?
Some things just can't be bought with money.
Ah, true. Would you like any tea before you leave?
Yes, that would be lovely.
Just pours a nice little tea cup. He's completely forgotten why she showed up at this point.
Are you still standing at the door offering her
I
a
think
cup of tea?
and I think no, he's inviting her into the front room.
Okay. Great. All right.
Sorry, everyone.
No, this is how our house operates.
And
Roommate.
she is
Meanwhile,
still,
we're in the bathtub, so
yeah,
Everything's
splish
fine.
splash.
I just thought that we happen to have 2 clawfoot tubs
Yeah, of
next
course.
to each other.
Only 2.
Yeah, I thought we'd have a third. So
Francis had these
joined.
installed, and I thought it was unnecessary. Turns out I was the fool.
It's because
Once
in the
we buy
past
the
she's had to do
Society
like
Obscura.
she's used them when she had to do like blood transfusions between 2
Oh,
bodies or
God.
something. I don't know.
Like I put
Packed in
ice
ice.
in there
Yeah.
for people.
And you've probably
Or
used them
have
for
organs.
lots of rituals as well.
There's lots of reasons you might want 2 tubs next to
Definitely
each
have
other.
like a blood stain ring.
Lots of weird stains. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Portia
It's the first time
maintains
people have
her.
bathed in them.
Yeah.
Portia maintains her scowl
scowl.
throughout, but you do notice that she is like actively, like almost as if she's committing everything she sees to memory inside.
Oh, sorry, everyone. And I think Francis is just having the most inane conversation about like he's commissioned a new vest from Vittorio, and this
Are you
long discussion.
taking her to the front? Was the snooker in the front room? Or snooker was in the parlor, of course. Is that near where you're taking her?
I don't think it is necessarily. Yeah, I think this is just like a front room for receiving visitors. Yeah, and I think there's, I don't think the snooker room is on the opposite end of the house, but I don't think it
that's far enough away.
adjoins.
Yeah. So she sits down and accepts your offer, and her expression, it's still one of sort of like suspicion, I think, but less contempt in there.
Oh, and I do think that Francis is, I do think his instinct is to like kind of mirror, like get on her side about this? Like, whatever's happened to him.
What a jerk.
Sure, if you want Hargrave's assistance. God.
It's our new threat.
Well,
Francis.
some men lack vision, like Cyrus. He is much too focused on entertaining his desires, both on this plane and in search of others, and ignores the actual problems that sit directly in front of him.
Oh dear. He doesn't have any medical troubles I haven't heard about, does he?
Not
I will
that I'm
keep
aware
it
of.
perfectly secret if you tell me.
Aside from being exceedingly simple, no.
Ah, of course. It's like reading that as a compliment.
I understand that you took dinner with Theodora recently.
Dinner. Yes. Yeah, it takes him a second for it to. That was an interesting time.
Her
Was
offer.
Portia at the same dinner?
Yes, she was. Oh, was she? Was it him and Portia?
Yeah, she was.
Let me check.
Oh
the
yeah.
page.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. She was.
So I think, yeah,
There was some
Francis was like,
footsie, I
oh
think.
yes, you
Yeah,
were across from me.
Yes.
I was footseeing both of them at the same time.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
hi.
Yeah.
It was an
Yeah,
interesting dinner.
Of course, you were at
was
the
it
dinner. It was and ended rather unfortunately for your friend. I'm sorry.
not? Okay, right. Does Francis know about the Harley head at this point?
I think it was you and Verith were there. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, you were definitely there when it got blown off, but
Oh, okay.
I think some of his brains got on you, in fact.
No. Ah, yes. There's
You
a
seem
series of terrible tragedies that have befallen Dr. Safi's associates.
and I think a condescending smile is starting to spread on her face. And
Fair.
says, I understand your friend Sarah had some interesting points about trust, but you seem like the most reasonable of anyone in your organization.
Oh, absolutely. Which is why I feel comfortable bringing this up to you. We have a goose on the premises here at Hargrave House. It is no ordinary goose, however. We feel that it may have exchanged its soul with that of a young man from Ardley, some distance from the city. I'm curious as to whether, in all of your time in the Society Obscura, you've encountered anything like this, and know how it may be reversed.
I cannot say that I have.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. It's nice to have an intellectual of your level to discuss these things with, because often they escape me.
Well, if you would like to enlist my help, maybe we could trade favors.
Of course.
You understand that I am working with Ms. Brathwaite in her plan that she proposed. I don't remember you being as vocal as Sareth about not interfering.
I would say that I would like to know what favor is being exchanged here without any. I believe, yes, we are sensible people, are we not?
Of course we are, yes.
Yes. Raises the teacup to that, takes a little sip. Oh God, Francis, what are you doing? Okay.
I understand that things between Hargrave House and Ms. Brathwaite are strained at the moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure we meant no offense on our part.
Cyrus has been of some use in our efforts, but that use is he has outlived it. But someone of your abilities may be beneficial to us in the coming days. You see, when structures of power are dismantled, anarchy and chaos can easily ensue afterwards. But someone with a
in
strong
that moment, Francis has like the edge of a bit of a flashback to chaos on Mars, but then
nice. Someone with your charisma and leadership skills could be of great use, and you could become a very important person were you to align yourselves with those who are looking forward to the coming days.
Let's see. And I don't know how much Francis really kind of pieces things together here. So I think he gives them kind of bland and general answer like, well, of course, if you need a friendly face to settle people down a bit, you just come back around here when you need my help.
I don't know about settling down. I heard that you were quite adept at riling people up most recently.
And how much does Francis remember? Oh, a few words here and there to get the boys excited about things is just a way to build camaraderie.
Ms. Brathwaite could use a few words in her favor once our efforts come to full fruition. Would you be willing to speak on her behalf?
Let's see. How is he? Because he keeps like, I don't think Francis is being deliberately non-committal here.
Yep.
But I think he's just kind of, this is how he handles promises. You know, it's like, oh yes, just ring me up when you need something. It's kind of what he keeps circling back to.
And in exchange, I will put all of my resources toward finding out something about your goose friend.
Lewis,
Lewis, of course.
Absolutely. I think this is good for a handshake.
Of course. And please don't mention this to your companions. I understand they have stronger feelings about this than you do.
Oh, of course. I think he's totally going to tell them about it. Sorry if that's...
It is agreed then. Thank you for the lovely time. If you see Cyrus about, please let him know of my intentions and the activities.
Right. You are selling the Society Obscura to hopefully an interested buyer who will take very good care of the place and has rather smashing senses of fashion.
Oh yes, she does.
Nice. And something about picking up his things. Yes.
You were quite fond of that building, weren't you?
Of course, it's wonderful. It is an exciting place. It could be Hargrave West.
I don't know about Hargrave West, but what about the Quinn estate? For if you were to become a notable person, you may need someplace to operate out of that didn't have all the baggage of being associated with, frankly, an organization, not to be offensive, that has a checkered past.
Or, hear me out, an entire building dedicated to men's haberdashery, hats and finer things for the well-appointed gentlemen, different rooms dedicated to different aspects of the art. Oh, Vittorio could have a field day with such a thing. I think he's kind of drifting off of it. So
and yeah,
I feel like
her
I'm
face
wanting the plot here. Just
no. Her face goes from like scheming to just like,
what have I done?
I'm trying to get a dog to get this choreography good. It's not working.
Look,
of
dog,
course.
and then the Jack of Hearts shows up here. Is this food?
Cool. And she, unless you have something else, will take her leave.
I don't think so. I think this has done enough damage.
Awesome.
Keep her there long enough.
I think honestly, he may forget about the promise that he's made unless it comes up specifically.
Cool. So, bath time is over. Tea time is over. What would y'all like to do?
Well, we should be gathering more clues about Lewis.
Go figure out this. Should we go on a field trip to places Lewis likes?
Or hit the books, maybe.
Yeah.
Like going to goose places seems fun.
I mean, he was looking at that bar. He was bothering the Star a lot, and they have a very cute owner. coincidentally, not at all related. But I wonder if he was looking for something there, like you know how like dogs eat grass when they're sick to cure them. Maybe Lewis also knows something of his own cure.
Mm.
Maybe there was something there that he knew could help him.
That sounds like it could be fun. I do think Francis is going to go back to his snooker game for at least a little bit.
Yeah, we don't have to, but that's the only hit I have. Is we dress up like common folk and we go to a common bar because we are not classist.
Oh god.
We are lower class people are just as good as us. They just don't have the manners or the education.
Oh, no.
So it's gonna be you and Francis, just
motivation.
you, or Verith.
I kind of feel like maybe I should try one more ritual.
Yeah, just since you need to be in the void. Yeah.
Because I was rereading my ritual power, which I don't read that much. One of the desired effects is observe another place or time. So I'm kind of thinking maybe if I could actually like observe
The voice.
when the witch cast a curse, it'll give us some hints on how to reverse it.
Ooh,
Wow.
interesting. All
I
right.
can observe that specific
That's
place
cool.
and time. And that's
Way
Sean's
better than
specialty. Well, I mean, I thought we could actually do both. 'Cause I mean, we don't necessarily need you all
Yeah.
for the ritual, so y'all could still
Yeah, we could do a
do
split
your
up.
plan too. Yeah.
Let's start off with what the ritual looks like. What Christian ritual are you perverting this time?
Suggestions from the peanut gallery.
Oh, sorry.
You think I should just look up a list to keep every week, but I don't because that would be far too much
Eucharist,
preparation.
Ordination, marriage, what is reconciliation?
Circumcision.
is that a Christian ritual? Kind of like it.
Oh,
It's adopted by
reconciliation
Christians.
is acknowledging your sins before God and His church. So confession.
I guess
Okay.
bris is a Jewish thing, but the Christians do it. Bigotry. What else do we have?
Right, sincere.
Shade.
Passover. Ritual bathing.
I'm kind of feeling a slight hit on confession, which I don't think we've done yet, have we?
I think we have,
I
but
don't think
Have we?
we will be
Yeah,
doubling up.
about it.
We
Well,
can
yeah, it's not like
baptize the
we.
goose.
Oh, actually, that works really well because I was thinking of part of the ritual being using the moonwort. Well, no, I don't have to. That's not for this ritual. That's for when we actually want to do the soul transfers, I think. Because this is going to be involving Sean for sure. Yeah, we'll go with confession because kind of what I'm feeling like is because obviously my rituals always use the dark entities to some degree. So hold on, let me check something else real quick.
Offer a Eucharist wafer to the goose.
Oh, I have a good. Great. So, where do you think you're going to be doing this ritual?
Well, I just realized my ritual room only has benefits at night, so it doesn't really matter. So I would guess I'll probably do it in that central courtyard that I like so much, where Sean can fly up out of the center of Hargrave.
Where do you sit for confession?
Well, I imagine there's like a little, like I'm picturing. I know we've said there's a bird bath out there, and so I figured there's kind of like a bench next to the bird bath where you can sit and watch birds bathe, like a creepy stalker.
Nice. I think
Watch
as
birds.
you're. So
we were just bathing. So it's,
That's true. It's relevant.
Are you doing anything to initiate the ritual? Just sort of like putting it out there and waiting for the spirits to show up.
Well, my kind of feeling on the confession was kind of like trying to contact them and be like, look, I know we have it's kind of a tit for tat. We have it, so it's like, you help me out with this, and I will owe you something in return.
Yeah. So I think as you're sort of extending yourself into the darkness, the more and more birds start landing at the at the birdbath, and they are all crows and blackbirds and ravens. And as they land, after a moment, they each sort of like drift up and sort of coalesce into the face of one of your demon friends, Valis or whoever you got there. And they start to kind of surround you, these like columns of ink with faces, and until they're like just form a semicircle around you. And Valis is the first one, just says, "How have you sinned?"
How have I sinned? Is that what he asked? I think the easier question would be to answer, how have I not? In fact, I don't think I could answer that question. I think I pretty much have a full house. Name it, and I've probably done it.
Name your sins. Name your sins. Name your sins. Name your sins.
Name your sins.
I've caused the deaths of countless people.
Vanishes.
I have used dark powers to further my own desires. I have used dark entities to take an easier path because I didn't want to walk the harder, more righteous.
Or walk at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just simply walk. Yeah. I've used it for convenient forms of instant
Bring
transportation.
me the remotes.
I've sacrificed others and elevated myself as some kind of judge who can dictate what is the greater good, as if that is my place. When I'm but another human with opinions. Why is my opinion better than anyone else's? I don't know, but if we're being honest with you, I think they are. So I suppose that's also sin of
Pride.
Yes, thank you. I was looking for the word.
I think there's one left. Stands right in front of you.
Yeah, well, and we all know my appetite for absinthe. What a glutton for absinthe I am.
And I think Sean is the last one that's just kind of like standing in front of you, and it's like, okay, ready to go. And kind of Sean actually turns into like a little column of ink and shoots up into the air.
I feel like we know, like we know when this happened, right? Because we know like the day, so I feel like that's where we're trying to go back to the moment of the ritual. We know it's the crones. We're like probably going to the crone's house at that particular time when we suspect she was doing the ritual, so that we can get more details of the ritual and know how to perhaps undo it.
So let's go ahead and make your ritual roll plus sensitivity.
And that's with advantage because I'm using Sean, right? That's his specialty.
Yes. Yep.
3d6 first, and then what's my sensitivity? +4 now or 3?
3.
Maybe some. I think it's only
It's
4
4
at one time.
in the ritual chamber. Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, I knew there was some reason I had a 4 one time, which was crazy talk. So I'll add 3 after this roll first, the first portion of the roll. 6 and a 4, 10. Yeah, there you go. 13.
All right. That works great.
Mastermind
I think
Blue. No.
before we see the results of that, do you want to take a break, or do we want to jump into Paloma's thing first?
I'd like a little break if that's okay.
Cool. Let's do 10 then.
Thank you, 10.
Thank you, Tim.
Alrighty. Is Heath muted or is my
Heath is
hearing
muted.
Ah, okay.
I was saying I had to kill Chrome because it was using up all my resources and everything was so slow I could barely move the mouse cursor.
Oof.
It's happened
Gross.
twice now while we were streaming. I don't know why.
It loves to eat memory.
There's a setting in the advanced where you can tell it to use GPU rendering or not, and sometimes switching that off or on. I don't remember which, because I had that problem for a while too, and that solved it for a little bit. The ultimate solution was get a better computer, but not available for everyone. Cool. So we are going with Paloma to the Star Tavern nearby.
Yes, give me just a second.
Yeah.
Frying eggs.
Oh,
I got really hungry. Okay.
So are you going alone?
I think I am. I think we don't need to see this scene, but I think right before it, Paloma goes to Azrael and is like, kind of relays what she had been talking about with Vareth, and was like, all right, from now on, you get to make your decisions on whether you go or not. And then I assume he's like, no, I don't want to go to this fucking bar with you. Like Paloma set it up as like an opportunity.
Yeah.
You can join mommy.
He's like, takes this opportunity to just be like, so it sounds like you're starting over. It looks like you're starting over. Trying to do better next time. Yes. Making me a brother or sister.
Starting over. Oh, has he found the head? No, don't take offense to this, darling, but you are more than enough for me to handle.
So you're just collecting body parts just to have?
No.
Well, I checked and there's nothing inside him but sawdust. So you'll have to find another brain.
Inside who?
Your friend's head.
Are you talking about Francis? It's really rude to talk about him that way.
oh God.
I mean, it's not entirely inaccurate, but no.
I feel like sometimes there's more than just sawdust, and sometimes there's some electrical firing of some sort, or maybe a electrical fire. I don't know, but he can surprise. He can surprise you. Being open to being surprised is all a scientist can ask for.
Sounds like you're avoiding the subject.
I think so, yes. What are you talking about?
The head. In the box.
In the box.
In the lab. Very well preserved, but not useful for creating another one of me.
There is only one of you. Why is there? And then I think Paloma just screams out, why is there a box in my, where's there a head in a box in my lab?
I hope this is happening during the conversation with Portia in the front row.
Yeah. Oh, don't mind that. That's just,
all at the same time.
You're talking to the crows, and
I think when he's astute enough to be like, oh yeah, you really have no idea what this is. Well, when
in contrast to the Francis scene.
Yeah. Well, when everyone's done being busy, you should probably ask them who put it down here, or if it just showed up by itself. Who knows?
That's quite concerning if it did.
Indeed.
No, body parts are a lot of trouble. We finally got those tubs open and available to be used by living humans. Don't plan on collecting any body parts anytime soon. Very difficult to clean.
So you were inviting me somewhere, it sounded like.
Yes, I'm going to a bar called the Star. We will need to dress down a bit, not show our wealth.
Of course.
I just wanted to give you a choice that you could go.
I've been downstairs too long. I think I'll go out with you.
Oh, I was hoping you would say no. It's very social. There'll be people you have to talk to. I think Paloma like opens it, but is like trying to sell it so that you don't go. Okay, well then come along.
If you're comfortable with me talking to people, then of course.
Of course, you're way better at talking to people than I am.
That's true. Great. So you make it around to the Star Tavern. You were only out back before, I think, or down the alley from it.
Yeah, and I think that she also is just like, well, I must warn you though, I do have a je ne sais quoi for the matron of this establishment, so
You don't know?
Don't get in mommy's way.
You don't know what you have for her?
One never does.
Seems
I like
one
that
should
Azriel makes
investigate that.
Paloma into a Francis.
Oh no.
Investigative role.
So
Mystery to be solved.
as you approach the Star, what about the exterior tells you that it is mostly frequented by servants and criminals?
The exterior. I feel like it like has no deck, like it has no, it like just looks like almost a house. Like it has no decorations at all. You wouldn't even know that it was, there's like it's, but not in like a fun speakeasy way. It's just like, it just says the Star and.
Nice. Yeah, so it's afternoon, so it's not super busy, but people are in there having their post lunch or pre-shift drink. There's a couple groups of kind of rough dudes hanging out, sort of conspiring, talking to each other.
I'm not getting a fight this time. I'm not getting a fight this time.
We'll see about that.
No.
And at the bar serving is Eliza, who you met previously.
Just trying to remember her name. Good.
How is Azriel dressed?
I feel like we are both dressed in our understanding of what people with less money than us wear, which is probably offensive. I think we just like found our drabbest outfits.
But
Azriel tends to wear like a little hood and
how disguised is he?
Well, he gets to dress himself today, so.
Ooh, okay. I think
different color socks and a tutu or whatever.
I think he's pushing it since you seemed like you didn't want him to come. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll come."
Day. He's got a top hat on. Probably, I don't know.
So yeah, what do you do when you get in there?
I think I go up to Eliza, and I'm like, I'm sorry for the other day. I feel like I just wanted to come back and offer you an actual apology and see if any amends could be made for our goose friend.
It takes her a second, but when you say goose, she's like, "You're the goose lady." Okay. Yeah, her like cordial.
Can I have sent Lewis out on a errand while we're doing this?
Oh, sure, if you want to. Yeah.
I haven't used that move, and if he dies, I don't want to lose my move.
Well, if Lewis the boy dives, you'll have it forever.
Oh gosh. It doesn't feel quite the same if I'm not making a little boy do my chores.
Yeah, so the move is well, Lewis inhabits the goose while at Hargrave House. A hunter with the most beloved, that's you, may send him out on an errand for them. Roll with presence.
Okay. Should I roll now?
Yeah, if you're gonna send him out beforehand.
Yeah, I'll send him out beforehand because I think I'm also like, because my theory is that he was looking for some kind of cure there. I'm also like hoping for another lead.
Cool.
With whatever he brings back, I'm going to interpret that way.
Looks like your presence is 0. So unless you want to use an item.
That's not negative. Yeah, let me see what I got.
Cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat. Oh yeah, I have Francis's too.
Knife. Other Francis.
The knife is bigger than him. Oh, other Francis.
Francis.
I think I send him out with the mausoleum key.
Ooh, okay.
So that in case he needs to get stuff.
Oh, you just checked that. Okay, cool. 3 dice top 2 then.
I got to refresh my page. All right.
Top 2 is a 5.
The 5.
Great. He snatches up the keys like quack or honk. Like, understood. I'm gonna go. Boo! And he's out the door before you can stop him.
Oh no.
On a miss, he gets into horrible trouble.
Yeah.
No. Meanwhile, in the fragrant void.
Unless you want to use a mask on this one.
No, I feel like it's appropriate.
Yeah. Cool. So Lewis,
that we're like doing all this and we're not paying attention to him, and he's just being a fucking menace.
I thought Bout Club got eliminated. Hawk.
So
the Capra Obscura Club burned down.
So Eliza, like once you say goose, she's like, fine, apology accepted. I hope that's not him in the hood.
No, he would not be nearly so well behaved or intelligent.
Meanwhile,
or attractive. I think, yeah, Azrael pulls his head back. He's like,
I think Azrael knows that I have the hots for this lady and is like now in competition with me. And it's thank you. That's very gracious of you. But I having known this goose for the short amount of time that I have, I can't imagine that he has caused some damage. And while I am not a psychologist and I can't help you with the emotional damage, I can maybe help with some of the property, if that's at all useful.
Are you going to order something?
Sure. What's
because right now you're costing me money by
what is the special? Can you do a sidecar? Or I don't know what a fancy Victorian drink is. Let me see.
What are you afraid might happen if she doesn't appreciate your fancy ways?
I think Paloma's trying to think of the like simplest drink, and then a fig sherbet. That's what I want. You know, lately I've really been into fig sherbets. or whatever the house.
I see English milk punch here.
English milk punch. You know what? I have been in very enamored. I had the last place I was at had a milk punch that was to die for.
So what are you afraid that might happen if she doesn't take to your fanciness?
I am afraid that she's going to make me a drink she thinks is a milk punch. It's just going to be really gross and I'm going to have to drink it.
Okay. You're rolling with presence.
Although maybe it could be worse than that, maybe. And then I give her a tooth. No, I feel like I should just.
Tame goose chase. Lewis cannot be tamed.
I rolled a 7.
Milk punch to the throat.
I'm very good at
Great.
naming my rolls. If I can't roll well, at least I'll go with style.
So she
I suck at rule naming.
yeah, she doesn't throw you out. She's like, a milk punch. I think we can do something about that.
Nice.
And for your friend, same. And Azrael's is like, I will take whatever you have. All right. So she like,
and Paloma like wants to and is like, I promise.
grabs a little gus and pulls something dark into it and slides it over to Azrael, who's jumped up on a bar stool. Little legs hanging off. Grabs it with his little burned baby hands. And she gives you a look. It's like milk punch. All right. And she there's a second tap. She pours half a glass of something looks like lighter beer, and
She's just mixing the two beers.
she goes to the back for a moment and brings out like a milk bottle and just pours the milk bottle into the beer. Swishes it around.
Hurdles immediately.
All right, there you go.
Mm.
I assume you pay, and she takes your money.
This is different than the last one I had. Very unique. Thank you. How was yours, Azrael?
Perfect.
Just like the last beer you had? To your standards of beer. Yeah, and then I think I want to fish around about well, I am also curious. You see, this goose, I believe this goose was searching for something.
The goose was searching for something.
This goose is ill. Possessed, you might say.
Possessed. I mean, I'm not surprised.
He
Acted like a
is
demon.
quite demonic, right? And then I think that he was maybe searching for a way to relieve his souls,
Of his feet.
spirits inside of him.
The goose.
Yeah, it's a
With a
theory
soul.
only. It's really what I'm.
What do you think this is an investigation roll with? Feels like presence or
Well, I think
composure,
I
but
think I'm like asking her like, well, I think I'm trying to offer to pay for stuff, and I'm like, so if you just let me know what was damaged or what was stolen. Yeah, maybe I don't tell her all I think maybe I say those things, but if you could just let me know what was damaged or stolen, I could not only reimburse you for that, plus the loss of time and labor that his conflagrations always cause, then it might also help us help him get some help.
the goose.
A goose. Yes, he's very special to us. My friend Francis is like almost a father to him.
Just feels like presence again. Unless you can make an argument
I'm
for
just
something
doing the
else.
Francis thing where I do what I'm not good at.
All right.
But I'm
that's-
being reasonable.
That is just 2 dice straight up
Detectiving.
then.
Do you have any books? I love reading books.
Books.
Just would like
People
to
come
read
here
a
to
book
read.
instead of talking to you. I would be
It's not a
reading
library.
book and then
Whoa,
I would be
okay.
better rolling. No, not really saying that. I'm just if I was a min-maxer, do I have something I can trade? A cowboy hat?
Would you tell me what was broken if I was wearing this cowboy?
If I was a different person, would you tell me?
You could threaten her with a knife, I'm sure.
Oh, don't want to threaten her with a knife.
She's a nice lady.
Great
I
plan.
want to go out with her later.
That might, I mean, this is a rough place. That might make you
Earn her
more
respect.
yeah.
Well, maybe I'll offer it to her and say, so I don't know what kind of tools you have to protect yourself, and I assume that you are very capable of protecting yourself, but recently
Lewis did
came
come
into-
back with a damp kitchen knife at one point.
But Lewis is very fond of knives, and I thought maybe I would furnish you with this bigger knife in case he comes back. And it's like the fig's knife on the counter.
It's got a little pig like burned into the or carved into the handle, and
Yeah.
might be stained with blood. That'll probably factor into her reaction. But yeah, let's roll 3 dice.
Maybe she
Up
likes
to you.
it.
Maybe she likes it.
I'm just trying to give away all my stuff so I can get more stuff.
I'm gonna give away that stuff. Circle of stuff.
Circle of stuff.
Sorry, I have to give it a clever name.
That's just become the thing. Does this happen with every like RPG?
They
over
gave me
Zoom?
a choice to title my thing. So
Oh no, we're all doing the same thing. I'm just wondering if every
It's
play
great.
group.
I rolled an
gravitates
11.
towards this.
I'll have
That
you
sounds really good then.
that lady likes my knife.
You brought a knife to this gift fight.
Wait a minute, is this the Fig's famous knife that they kill lots of people with?
Yeah, I think
Artifact.
she looks at it and she looks at the handle. She's like, "You get this at a
I'm
my shop,
telling
did
you. Well, no, we maybe I failed to mention that we investigate quite a few of the odder sort of mystery, including this goose.
You give me a cannibal's knife."
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way, but yes.
I like it.
It'll probably fetch a good price if you don't like it.
No, it's going up above the bar.
Great. Great.
Might dissuade some of the rougher gentlemen from starting anything. She like yells over at one of the groups.
I like your style,
and-
Eliza.
And she says, "I do." Oh yeah, it's perfect. I do apologize for the drink. You
It's very
can
gross.
take this, and she takes the bottle of milk, which she just happens to have here, and
It's my fault for not knowing my place.
she says, "The milk is actually spoiled, but
Mm,
I did purify it with
I thought the beer was spoiled. Good. Okay.
boracic acid. There's some boracic acid in there, and it picks it right up. So might not taste as good, but it's not going to hurt you much."
A science.
And that is the clue. A metal can or glass bottle of spoiled milk purified with boracic acid, which apparently was a thing that people did a lot. Ugh,
We'll sprinkle a little.
Oh,
little
that is
sprinkle.
fine.
yeah.
Toxicology of boric acid.
Uh,
Oh, there's
boracic.
some.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was it?
BORACIC.
Okay, boracic. Well,
Yeah.
that redirected for some reason.
Boracic acid.
Yeah, redirected from boracic acid.
Yeah.
I want to know what a jelly bag is.
Murderous milk.
No.
Yeah. Killed quite a number of people, apparently.
Causes kidney damage and eventually kidney failure,
Great. I'll just
testicular atrophy.
Borax acid, yeah. Cool. Yeah, so that is the clue that you get from her. And she offers to give both of you another round of something unspoiled. It's like you were just being, I thought you were trying to put me down, showing off how fancy you are. So
No, I'm sorry. tend to put my foot in my mouth, and I think I have a lot to learn.
Oh.
But we do really care about this goose, and I'd like to see.
Well, just make sure he doesn't show up here again, or else she points at the knife.
I will warn Lewis. Yes.
I think as the afternoon
Asriel,
crowd
not
is
so fast. She's
starting
like
to pile in,
glugging.
she's like, I have a lot of customers to take care of, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes, please go ahead. Thank you for your help.
Cool. So we rolled what with where is it? What was our roll for the ceremony or the ritual? It was like a 13, right?
It's a 13, yeah.
Yeah, it was a 13. Great. So I think it cuts to like Sean's eye view and just kind of hurtling through the sky and over London, and kind of like it did before when you're looking at something else where this kind of thing sort of happened. See the city sort of change a little bit as it goes backwards and flies out over the countryside to the village of Ardley, to the exact moment when Lewis was transformed. Let's find another clue that looks good.
There's a bottle of anti-spell sauce on her counter.
You got the wallpaper, right? Yeah, wallpaper check. You get the footprints. Yeah. So where does Sean alight in the village?
Well, I'm figuring the crone would have been doing whatever spell she was doing, like at her house. So I figure he's going back down her chimney.
Nice. So I don't think
Catch her in the act.
She is completely oblivious to his presence. 13 is real good. And yeah, let's do our investigate roll for this then while he's there. And it's gonna be with sensitivity, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
So it'd just be a straight up roll to begin with.
Yeah. +3. Yeah.
Yeah. Sensitivity. Carol. How about another 13?
That's another 13. Up. Great.
Dang, y'all.
Sweet.
In fuego.
So I think one of the things, yeah, I think so. I'm actually going to give you 2 clues for that.
Written on the whiteboard is how to undo this spell.
She has a bunch of all of her stuff, all of her witchy stuff, all her herbs. She's picking stuff off the ceiling, and she turns to the let's see, what's a good place for that? Yeah, I guess she turns to near her hearth, where she has a goose, which you definitely recognize as Lewis the goose. She has a goose in a little like wooden cage. She is like a little dome bird cage things, like a bird cage. It's a bird cage, a wooden bird cage. And she has him in that, and he's like honking and biting at the bars. And she turns from him and picks up off the table. And here is clue number 1: a small doll made of corn husks and twine. And you can see it has some human hair on it. You can only imagine that is Lewis the boy's. And she takes it and waves it over some stuff that's burning in a little bowl, and eventually goes over to Lewis the goose and plucks one of his feathers out and jams it into the heart of the little doll. And as she does that, the doll begins to not burn, but it turns black into ash as if it was burning, but you don't see any flame or anything. And when it sort of crumbles away into ash in her hands, she smiles and bends down to the goose and takes its like little head in her hand under the neck, and she says, go make some trouble somewhere else, and just like grabs it and tosses it out the front door. And I think yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. And I think she, after she kind of like watches him honk and squawk and run out into the village, and this is in the middle of nighttime, so people are like lighting candles and it's waking everyone up, causing a ruckus. She turns back to her little workshop, and there is a chest she has that she goes to close, but before she closes it, the Sean eye kind of sneaks into it, and inside the chest is a little miniature model of a building, and as you sort of like let it come into focus, you see that it is a miniature model of Hargrave House, and you can even see yourself standing in the courtyard, or sitting in the courtyard, just as you are now. And she closes the chest, and Sean's like, cool, got it. Pooh. It goes back to the courtyard with you.
Good job, Sean. Has some peanuts.
So that's 2 clues: a small doll made of corn husks and twine, and a miniature model of the building or location the hunters are currently in. So that is how many clues now? 7 clues.
Look at questions.
Cool. Francis, do you have anything you all want to do before you get together and talk about what you got?
Oh God. I do think Francis has gone back to resume his snooker game, but I don't know if anything like plot relevant is going to happen there.
Nice. Cool. Let's have Paloma and Vareth come back from their respective things. Do you want to hang out in the parlor and theorize some?
Absinthe for everyone.
Not fine, Azrael.
Chug,
Third
chug,
one
chug,
today.
chug.
He's ahead of his years in so many ways. Probably in
You're
taste
just
as
like your head.
Ahead, finally.
You're acting like your head.
I'm surprised
giving-
that
Oh.
head hasn't been having withdrawals.
By the way, Azrael told me there's a head in my lab.
Oh, yes. You weren't around for the head delivery, were you?
Apparently
I'm
not.
sorry.
It slipped my mind completely.
Obviously, there's been a
Understandable.
lot going on. That was a delivery from Theodora Braithwaite. However you say her name.
I think
saying that-
by now I have looked at it and been like, oh,
Early.
okay.
Oh,
And I believe
Yeah,
there was a
it seems-
message with it, something along the lines of "You're next."
It
Now
did
you.
seem like the message
Oh, now
was
you.
redundant, and that the message was pretty clear by sending me a
Right.
very well preserved head. I do want to hold on to it for a little while longer because I have not reached that level of preservative yet, but then I will dispose of it. But thank
Except
you
to
for
tell
letting me
you,
know.
I thought the lab was the most appropriate place to store it. Didn't know if you could
It is
use it
the-
in a medical experiment or some further of your studies.
See, there was nothing to be jealous of, Azrael.
Oh no, Azrael definitely has the best head.
Anyway, happy to start pontificating.
so the current clues we have are Absinthe label, the spirits return with animals on a person. A torn sheet of floral wallpaper painted Shields green with arsenic. A boot with a cross made of nails in the sole.
What a poison.
Lewis does not like the taste of moonwort. A metal can or a glass bottle of spoiled milk purified with boracic acid, a small doll made of corn husks and twine, and a miniature model of the building or location the hunters are currently in.
It does seem like our conversation about poisons this morning may be more and more appropriate.
What a crazy bunch of clues.
And the task is, how can the curse be reversed or removed?
And obviously I relate to them both, everything I know from my, about the ritual that took place. So they have all the same details I do. They've seen everything through my eye.
Oh, yeah, and same.
We've got a lot of substances to play with here.
Now we know she was lying to Francis.
Oh.
Because she said she wasn't responsible.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But, well, she didn't, actually, she never said she wasn't responsible, just that he was an annoying little boy, which is probably true. But yeah, lots of poisonous substances.
Oh, so we have arsenic.
I wonder about that. Our theories of Mithrandism we were talking about this morning, Vareth. If a corn husk doll makes one a goose.
And the feather.
And the feather. Then what is the antidote? Look at this list.
Where was the absinthe label from? It was on the good absinthe? Or
yeah, the good absinthe when you went to the absinthe shop.
The spirits return.
Well, no, absinthe is known to be like one of the more mystical liqueurs among some. Perhaps that's part. And the Lewis not liking the taste of moonwort, that I believe that has something to do with his.
Maybe he has tasted it before. Maybe. It does seem like his spirit did some traveling. So like we traveled through the void, but if only our spirits had I don't know, Vareth, you'd be the expert in this body swapping business, but perhaps moonwort is known to induce souls leaving the body, or at least that's the folklore around it. We know it in the medical practice as just killing someone. But if a spirit is a real thing, then perhaps it could be contained in a different container.
I think that's why he's averse to it, is that the moonwort is having the effect of trying to drive the soul out of the body that's not supposed to be there.
Are you talking about just poisoning the goose?
I think we need to poison.
No.
I am. I think that
our intricate plan.
clearly we need to feed this.
We're going to take the goose to the Omega Cliffs.
To give this goose poison, but only a little bit. Like
I believe
diluted
that
with
the
water.
label on the absinthe also is
perhaps absinthe had been used for these ceremonies before.
Well, I think it needs to be used in our ceremony. If we temper the moonwort with some absinthe, I believe that we can find just the right balance to drive the spirit out without killing the goose.
What about the tiny things? Do we need tiny versions of everything?
Do we need a tiny goose doll?
Well, the tiny model, I believe, is actually not related to the Lewis situation. I believe that is simply because the crone was suspicious that we have been investigating her and has therefore constructed a means by which to keep an eye on us.
This was before she met you.
Oh, it's true. Oh yeah, because we were looking at the time of the ritual.
So if this goes deeper, she was already obsessed with us.
She was
Maybe
already
she
watching
knew
us,
that we
yes.
would be the ones investigating anything paranormal.
Maybe she just has a crush on Francis, and this was
That's the most logical answer.
More likely.
Yeah, I have no focus today.
Well,
No,
I mean,
same.
you know, maybe she had made that model because knowing that she was about to do this to this boy, she probably knew it was very likely that we would be called in to investigate. So she
Oh
wanted
yeah,
to keep
Francis
an eye on
already had a
us.
connection to the town.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that was sort of her pre to spy on us to see if we were talking about her or saying we're going to go investigate her, etc.
Mm-hmm.
She had that already set up. So as soon as the boy's body transferred, she already had her surveillance on us.
So
Ready to go.
perhaps we should perform this ceremony outside of Hargrave so that she can't see what's coming.
Yes.
Exactly. Very true.
We could go to the Society Obscura, which is empty and for sale right now.
Very random of you to say. Okay.
A small doll made of corn husks and twine. That's obvious. That was the effigy used to make the transfer.
Time to
Very
make a
simply
tiny
explained.
goose.
Now let's see. We still have many to explain.
The
But-
boot with the cross of nails on the sole and the arsenic floral wallpaper.
Where were those from?
Well, a lot of these, so this milk business and this wallpaper business, these are both things that were intended to help. Things that were intended to help but ended up hurting. And that's very common in my business, I'm sure, and yours as well, Verith. And Francis, I'm sure there are parallels in the gentleman's world as well. But something that was intended to maybe, I mean, according to Francis, this crone seemed like a misunderstood person. Maybe she was trying to teach Lewis a lesson, and maybe it's just that Lewis needs to learn this lesson. He needs to be helped, and then everything will go back to normal. So maybe we just need to teach Lewis what it's like to be human.
Well, we already previously answered the question as to why she did it. It was because the boy was
He's awful.
trespassing around in her carrot garden.
And probably more generally, just being a terrible rapscallion.
Lack of boundaries.
Yes.
All right. If we could just teach Lewis to listen to our boundaries, maybe that will undo the spell. Every poison has, well, not every poison, many poisons have antidotes. Many spells have counter spells. Most
we have determined,
light
though-
has a shadow. Maybe this is an undoing of the spell, an untangling, an unraveling.
We know it's going to involve an absinthe and moonwort mixture.
Mhm.
Could the boracic acid and the arsenic have something to do with that as well? Like, is it a matter of mixing 4 potential poisons in just the right amounts?
I
So if they
wonder if, I don't know if Francis would be able to say this in character, but like, we know that that Lewis, human Lewis, exclamation point human, is incapacitated right now. Are we sure that's purely because of the spell? Or could it have been, I'm going to exchange these bodies and make sure that this human is just down for the count?
Mm.
And until it's permanent or something.
Yeah.
Perhaps she had, knowing he'd been trespassing in her garden, had fertilized her carrots with some of this multi-poison mixture,
Because we
knowing
did,
Ooh.
that he would steal one of her carrots and eat it.
Mm.
And perhaps he has to be unconscious for the transfer to take place. She can't
I'm-
make the transfer while he's awake.
Oh.
So if you're
I'm-
poisoned and therefore
I'm kind of-
comatose,
Building a bizarre scenario here where the carrots had been grown in poison ground for whatever reason. And then Lewis came along, ate the poison, and this was a way of saving his life or something, stashing him in a goose.
Yeah, it was the closest thing. She had this goose that she was going to eat.
No, that's
no,
I like it. I like
because
it.
now here's how perhaps
oh no.
how the boot plays in.
Okay.
I hadn't thought about this till you said it, but I do recall now a local branch of witch hunters who believe that the
Cross.
cross in that constructing their boots with boot nails in the form of a cross
Mhm.
helps give them some protection against the crone. So she was going to sneak these carrots in to poison the local witch hunters who were hunting her.
Right.
Okay.
And therefore, I believe it was, yes, it was the initial poisoning of the boy was an accident. When he stole her carrots. He stole her carrots, got poisoned, went into a coma. That's when she knew. She saw the missing carrots, heard about the boy in the coma.
Oh, that's also why
That's-
he's in the coma.
Knew it was serious. Yeah.
Yes.
It's serious.
And either the question is, did she at that point do the
in
transfer
the
as some kind of
coma.
cover up? I'm not sure how that would work, or as just a bonus of like, oh, well, he's in this. Now I can be rid of him for good by putting him in this goose, and then he'll never come out of his coma to bother me again. Was it
Goose
more of
friend in
a-
a coma.
Was it more of a, yes, an act of opportunity
Hmm.
or a cover up?
Sorry, I'll use
Or
the chat
some
puns.
long-term way of saving the kid.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Because if his,
But that gets wheels within wheels. But man, I would like the twist of that though.
How does the cornhusk doll factor into the reversal or cure?
Well, we'll need to make a little homunculus out of corn.
We need to
Yeah.
make, yeah.
because
Well,
it took an effigy to make the transfer, we'll have to have an effigy to make the transfer back.
So it was a feather into a little boy,
Hmm.
Into,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
so we'll
this
need a
one will have
duck
to
and we'll need
be
something from the little boy.
fingernails into a
Yes,
Oh, God,
goose
exactly.
Yes.
Fingernail clippings into a goose effigy.
or a hair, I guess.
Well, it has to be something sharp enough to pierce
Fingernail
the
sounds
effigy.
better.
Stick a hair in.
I like fingernails.
I wonder if he has any baby teeth coming out. That'd be a nice sharp root you could stab into a.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna go remove a tooth from a coma kid.
We can save your kid, but we need to take his teeth first.
A tooth,
need all of his
not
teeth.
all of his teeth.
I mean,
Well,
you might
I-
as well.
While we're in there, I could use
And
some
for a
baby
penny.
teeth.
So I wonder if
They
like
sell really well.
he could survive the poisoning, but normally it takes its toll on the spirit, on the mind, to such a degree that he would be just like drooling and incapable of doing so. So we just take him out for as long as it
I
takes
do
for the poison
believe-
to pass through, and then
Well,
get
this
him
might
back.
be Paloma's expertise. I do believe we would need to cleanse the boy's body of the poison before we could safely put the soul back into it without him just still being poisoned and dying.
Yeah, and that's where our liver generally does the job, but when the liver is overpowered, then
He needs a soul liver.
But now that you know that the
dandelion
poison,
root is quite good for detox.
but I believe there's the key. Now that you know the poison was made with arsenic,
Arsenic.
moonwort, and boracic acid, then you know how to antidote it.
Clearly.
The The risk being, if we're wrong about the poison, yeah, well, these.
Or maybe no, that doesn't make sense. I was saying
What we
maybe,
need is some wallpaper, some milk, and some moon rays. Yeah,
sorry
I
if
lost
there's noise on my
No,
end.
I do
There's a
believe you're
cat toy
right.
in the background.
Well, see, yeah, here's the thing though, out of game, is we have
Yeah.
already answered the question as to why she did it, and it was
Yeah.
because the child was stealing
They're
carrots from her.
trespassing.
So we can't really
Yeah.
undo that because that was how we
I was
answered the
trying to
question.
tweak it like it was because he stole the carrots,
Yeah.
but there's
But she
also-
could have
she knew he was going to
poisoned him and
continue.
she, she could have poisoned and then regretted it. Like I think she put poison in the maybe she put poison in the carrots and didn't
She did
know
like
how
a Snow
many
White to the carrots. Yeah.
maybe she didn't know how many he ate. And he ate so many.
Mhm.
His soul left his body and she had to catch it in a goose.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my god.
That's great.
Caught it,
I thought
but
that was what
couldn't
we
get
were
it back. But had to
Yeah.
put it in a
She
She was
nearby
trying
living
to
thing.
she was
Yeah.
trying to catch
She-
it.
she caught it in the doll.
But
Yeah.
she was trying to catch it in the doll, but but then the feather.
Had
She
to
caught it in the doll,
transfer
but
it
she
to
knows
you.
the doll would not last very long. So she had to transfer it into something living. Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah, of
live in a
course.
straw effigy very long.
And so what we need to do is introduce the same kind of disturbance within Lewis's body.
So poisoning the
sh-
duck again.
Yeah, often to change. We've experienced this in our lifetimes too. To often to change our minds, we need moments of great uncertainty, and a body often needs a lot of turbulence in order to regurgitate a soul. So what we need to do is invoke some kind of trauma to this goose that doesn't hurt it and is
Well,
in
that's what
accordance with our
That's what
safety
we-
regulations.
That's what the absinthe and moonwort
Mm-hmm.
concoction is
Yeah.
to do, is to drive the soul out.
So it sounds
And
like
this-
the solution you've come up with is make your antidote
poison
with
goose.
whatever you got, poison or disturb the goose somehow to get the soul
Not
out.
poisoning the goose. It's
Or whatever.
Lightly push.
Yeah. You're going to need a little corn husk doll and then somehow get the soul back into the boy
yeah. So we need.
and maybe cure him
well,
of the poison somehow.
Yes. No. Yeah. Paloma needs to cure the boy's body,
Cure the boy's body,
and we
poison the
need
goose,
something from the
make a
body
doll.
to pierce the effigy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Paloma has some enzymes that she's been working with that speed up liver
Yes.
processes, and
Enzymes.
just going to use those.
Perfect.
Cool. And we decided the miniature model is not part of the solution. It's just a creepy thing she did.
Well, yeah. That was just what she did to keep an eye on us to know if she was being found
She's
out.
on to us.
All right. Sweet. So you've got 7 clues. It's a 6 difficulty. So you'll be rolling 2 dice plus 1. Who would like to roll?
It sounds like Paloma probably plays the largest part in this, and that she has to cure the
Oh.
boy.
Dang. Yeah, and I've been rolling badly so far today. So maybe this will be the
So
good
you're
one.
due.
Except for the
Right.
knife gift.
I mean, we all play a part, but she's got to.
And you've got a few masks yet.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I've got the most masks too. So let's. What do I do? Roll 2
2 plus 1. Yeah.
plus 1.
Thank you.
It's been a while since I rolled for a question anyway. So Goose Lewis. We rolled a 9. Or
Great.
8 plus 1.
Perfect. Cool. So yeah, that sounds like a great plan that you will have to execute
Flawless.
flawlessly tonight
No
because
problem.
tonight's the last night he's going to be alive. And
Oh yeah, we learned that his poison's gonna run out.
yeah.
We'll kill his wife.
Great. I think that's a great answer. Anything else you'd like to do during the day before?
I wish she had just
dusk
fucking
falls?
told us. She could have told us and sped this up. This is like a
don't think-
sitcom where people just need
I
to
don't
talk
think
to
she
each
wants
other.
him back. She just wants him to stay in the goose.
You might be
Like-
happier that way.
Yeah.
He might
Sure he is.
be. Oh my
Great.
God,
So
He's gonna wake up
why are we doing
screaming in
this?
his own body. Why did you put me back?
I had the capability of flight.
I could go anywhere.
I had
is
touched the clouds as men have
I
but
didn't have to
dreamed.
learn manners. Social conventions did not apply to me.
was
I
anyone
shit
else
wherever I want.
Anywhere.
anyone else in the house? Were they around while you were doing this? Azriel, Vittorio,
Oh, yeah.
Cyrus.
I imagine Azriel's been like as a point sticking by my side, even if
Mhm.
he doesn't want to. Just
Yeah, I
to,
figure he could, but
Yeah.
aside
I'm
from that,
amused that-
I would think we would try to do it pretty privately. I would think,
Yeah, that's
aside
true.
from Azriel.
Yeah.
I like to imagine
so
Cyrus following me back and then walking into this conversation and just being like, what the hell?
this is not the big problem, guys.
well, goose. He sees like the drawings of the board. It's like a goose and a question
You're
mark.
where Theodora's about to destroy all. We have to a boy and a goose to tend to first.
Time is
All
running
right,
out
Cyrus.
for a goose.
So yeah, Azriel is like, that sounds like a great plan. Mother, where is Lewis?
Oh no.
Oh. I sent him off on an errand earlier.
Oh, did he come back?
I'm sure he'll be back any moment. He's supposed to go by the mausoleum and see if there's any trinkets.
The mausoleum.
I gave him mausoleum key.
Okay. Hopefully he'll.
I don't
Come
think
back
there were any
time.
funerals today for him to totally
Oh no.
cause chaos for, but I didn't check the schedule, so could have just
Ruin a
ruined
funeral
What was the
gets
move?
worked
a funeral.
He gets into horrible trouble on the miss.
I know what
Okay.
I'm trying to. Yep.
Great. Anything else you want to do before dusk falls? It sounds like
Paloma would
fine-
need to prepare her
Yeah.
enzyme elixirs.
It sounds
Oh,
like
okay.
Find Lewis
Sean
is
to
also
look
on the
for-
menu.
I
Find
think we need
Lewis
to
and
find
also,
Lewis.
and
Or
also
find
I
Bird.
He's back by
suppose
now.
maybe how about this? Well, since Francis is kind of Lewis's father, maybe Francis can find Lewis. Paloma can make up her anti-poison elixir, and I can make up a duck effigy, a goose effigy. So we have our elements prepared.
I'm split up.
Would you want a goose effigy or a boy? Because you want the boy's soul, not the goose's soul.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it was a boy effigy with a feather. So we have a goose effigy with one of his teeth.
So you want to take the goose soul out of Lewis's body and then
Wait.
free
Oh, wait,
Lewis's soul.
no. I was thinking.
Face. Oh.
No, you're right. So yeah, we want yeah, because we do want the boys.
So you want
So I guess that means we
the
would
doll
need a boy
draw the
effigy.
soul out of the goose and then
Into the
somehow
goose
get it back
face.
into the boy.
So then we need a boy effigy and then one of the boys' teeth to stab the boy effigy.
You're the witch. I don't know.
I
See, I was
figure-
just no, I was thinking goose effigy because that's where the soul is. It's in the goose. And then
okay.
the boy's tooth because it's the boy's soul that we are pulling out of the goose.
Yeah,
Got
we're
it.
just
Yeah.
reversing
Into the boy.
what
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll see if it works.
it'll work perfectly. All of our plans.
So Paloma can make anti-poison. I'll make a goose mystical effigy with magic woo juice.
Francis does.
Francis, find Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Francis needs to find Lewis.
Francis, yeah, and I tell him where the graveyard is in St. Louis too.
Oh, right. So yeah, Francis goes to the graveyard and
I can go with Francis if you want. I think the enzymes are like
Yeah,
I've been
probably
working
not.
on them for a while. So if you want me to go
Oh,
with you,
big.
I can go with you.
yeah. So we're both going to a funeral for someone we don't know.
Yeah. So I guess we dress up like we're going to a funeral.
Oh, do I have wear outre or risque fashion?
Oh, I have romance
I do.
though. Time
I
to
do
get
not. I
a
do not
girlfriend
have-
at the funeral.
So
this
you
is
want to
it.
go
In
after
this
Lewis
episode-
now?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Should get him.
Cool. I think the complication introduced with your solve roll, none of you, as everyone's kind of like, cool, break, and everyone goes off to do themselves. The camera sort of lingers in the room a little bit, and then focuses on the walking stick that has been left intentionally in the parlor.
Good.
And focuses on the little crystal ball.
We get a free walking stick.
And then through the crystal ball, we see what's her face on her face, like peering through it.
Wondering why we're just talking about a goose.
Yeah.
Goose. What? I thought they were coming after. Why are they doing it? Goose? Is this a trick?
Is this code? This must be a code. Am I the goose?
I'm the goose. Oh, I'm the goose. Okay, got it. So they're gonna take my soul and put it in a boy.
Am
I
the
understand we're
cornhusker?
about to take over London, right? And they're
I guess it would be harder if I was a goose, but
they're so smart. I don't understand their plan.
They're like 2 steps ahead. It's 40 chess. Great. So let's do a. Oh boy, what is Lewis gonna do?
Like a quick Lewis chaos scene.
Yeah. Was it a specific graveyard we got that from? I forgot.
Yeah. I don't know where it came from.
Was it how old is that museum?
It came from grave robbing, I think.
Yeah.
So the one that Harley works at.
Ooh.
Well, he works at a bunch. Like he works at the Potter's Field, but he also works at like the fancy one.
I mean, he works because he just digs up bodies where he can find them. He's not an undertaker. He's a grave
digger.
Cool. You know where the mausoleum is that this belongs to, and it's not super fancy, but it's not Potter's Field. It's just a normal person's. If they were middle class, that's where they would get buried. And as you approach, you hear people yelling.
Sure.
Yeah. And getting closer, you can see people just sort of like running around, like maybe half a dozen people running around in different directions around the gravestones, and it appears they're trying to catch something small that is running around.
That could be anything.
Oh no.
And as you get closer, it's clear that there was someone being buried, and the coffin is open. Only the priest and the gravedigger are standing by the grave, and the rest of the people,
did he eat the eyeballs of the person?
Are chasing Lewis around the graveyard futilely, and you can see something shiny in.
Oh, he stole the jewelry.
Francis's beak. What would you like to do?
You just called Lewis Francis.
Lewis.
Oh.
Okay.
I never did learn how to control this goose.
I think Francis is just going to be like uselessly conversational. Like, I say, Lewis. Young man, we have good news. We've determined how to return you to your spirit to its more natural home.
Paloma is chasing him and has just lost the ability to plan and is just trying to cut him off.
Like the fifth grader
he
playing
likes
carrots
carrots.
thing is just like following.
I think at this point he has flapped up and has alighted on top of the mausoleum, and people are trying to scramble up to get him. I think I'm gonna
do you have anything shiny?
Are you still you're running around after Lewis, right?
Yeah, I think I just got the idea to try to outshiny his shiny, but I can still be running after.
We have carrots.
Do
we have carrots?
You probably would have taken some with you because we know he loves it.
Yeah, maybe I've been running after him with a carrot, and then now that he's up there, I'm like.
Now you need a long baking peel with some carrots on the end with which to lure him down.
Yes. So yeah, I think I'm at the foot of the mausoleum, but holding the carrot
up. What are you afraid might happen if this exertion has been too much for you?
Oh no.
For me,
in the tumult of people running around?
The exertions, like for me,
Mm-hmm.
I guess just that I'm afraid that I'll pass out. I don't know. So it didn't seem like there were many options. Maybe my brain is not working.
You fall into an open grave.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Run into someone, fall and break your arm.
I'm
A lot of things
worried
can
that
happen.
I'm kind of worried someone is in this crowd that knew us from the vampire situation and is
Ooh.
like,
Oh, no.
I'm more afraid of like being seen and being kicked out for that reason.
Nice. Cool. Running around is vitality. So let's see a vitality roll.
Oh, goody. That's one I don't.
Your favorite stat.
Favorite stat other than presence. What if I run around with a cowboy hat on?
You keep threatening. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to use it. You talk
What about
about it a lot.
I
What
can
if we
give you
ran around with the
making heal.
pram to try to get him? No, I don't. I think I was just running. I don't think I was planning
okay.
this.
Cool. 2 dice straight up then.
Whew. Well,
8.
Actual wild goose chase, an 8. Great. So yeah, you are not injured. And you make it to Lewis before anyone else does. And Francis can follow you if you like. And I think he's like swatting at the carrots as you try to offer them. I think maybe he's had his fill of carrots already, had them being poisoned and everything.
Oh, no.
Oh,
So
he
we've
doesn't
been
like
giving
them
him
anymore. He
things
thinks they're
that he thinks
poisoned.
are poison the whole time.
Oh.
And someone on the other side of the mausoleum has gotten a hold of a rake and is trying to get up on someone's shoulders to kind of like get him with a rake, which they will
Don't
probably
hurt
be
him.
successful at if you don't do something.
I think Francis is going to try and climb up there.
Nice. I think just plain old climbing up is well within Francis's abilities.
Okay.
So you can make it up with assistance or not. You have a vitality of 3. That's getting on top of a thing is not a problem.
Yeah.
So you're up top with Francis, and he's got a gold pocket watch in his beak.
Oh God.
And he's kind of like doing like a muffled, like a hunk without opening his mouth.
Oh, God. Let's see. Oh God, like I think Francis is going to say again that we've found a way to get you back to your human form. And he's going to like pitch that as, you want to come with us, come with me if you want to live.
Ooh, I don't think he's a fan of the plan.
Oh, no.
He loves being a goose.
He does love being a goose.
No. Fair.
Like Francis is pretty compelling though. Let's make it a presence roll with disadvantage.
Okay, and no way to use either of my objects. So
Francis is unfamiliar with making presence rolls at disadvantage.
I know.
What is this? Usually it's advantage, not even normal.
okay, I'm rolling 3d6. That is a 6, 5, 4. So 5 plus 4 plus 3 is 12.
That will do it. Cool, that will definitely do it. And Francis, what exactly does Francis say to him?
I think he is just very excited. He says, "We've done it. We've figured out exactly how you got in this mess and exactly how Dr. Sappy and Mix Archpenny will get you out of it, back to your human form and right as rain in the morning. This has been quite a thing that's happened to you, but you'll have all the shiny things you want when you're able to hold them in hands again."
I think that's compelling enough for him. Yeah. He kind of waddles up to you and kind of like he has the gold watch, kind of like honks and drops it at your feet. Would you catch it if you like?
Oh yeah, I think I catch it. I will find the perfect copy of this to give you when you open your normal eyes in the morning.
What are y'all gonna do about the crowd that is quite angry?
Run.
Oh, no.
Feed them carrots.
Poison carrots.
Yeah, I
I
think we should
think
just run away.
Francis is going to ask about the gold watch. Whose is this?
Uncle Samuel, he's in his grave without his watch. You'll never know what time it is when he gets to heaven.
All right. So then clambers down, sets it neatly in the coffin.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's enough. The folks eventually calm down and close it up and are able to do their ceremony, which you're not obligated to stick around for.
I think Francis at first.
I feel like we do. I think we're both like yeah,
he sounds like such a nice guy.
We become really good friends with like the entire family.
Yeah, Francis is tearing up at some speeches.
Oh, I can't believe he's gone.
Has to be discouraged from giving a speech himself. But I have things I want to say about Uncle Samuel.
I think Lewis is kind of insistently like at your side, sort of like jumping and flapping as if he wants to be carried by you, Francis.
There.
Tuck the goose under your arm. I think you'll be able to get back to Hargrave relatively easily.
Okay.
Cool. Just as the sun goes down. I think.
Oh boy.
All right. So we will move into dusk phase. Woo! And yeah, let's take care of all that next time.
Whew, okay.
Easy peasy.
Goose squeezy.
Goosey squeezy.
Squeezy.
All right. Let's do stars and wishes, I guess. Start with Heath.
Brilliant as always. I really enjoyed the early scene watching Francis be Francis.
Oh,
It's so
yes.
amusing. I always enjoy our intimate scenes. That was fun with our dual bath time, which is it's always interesting because I always have to remember, like, that's literally part of the game. I start getting self-conscious, being like, is this fucking boring just listening to us have a philosophical conversation for 15 minutes? But I'm like, no, it's literally one of the mechanics of the game.
That's why we're here.
It led to a lot of the later stuff. Yeah.
But I enjoy it. It's fun to do. And yeah, it's always just fun seeing what Mark comes up with. And how it's fun to see, like, obviously complications are easy, or like what you always think of as like, oh, if something goes wrong, Mark's have to come up with some way in which, things are fucked for us. But it's also fun to watch the other way, like when Paloma rolled like really well, and to watch how you're like, yeah, a famous cannibal knife, we're displaying that in a bar.
That's fucking sweet.
That's gonna like bring people in. They're like, come see the fig knife hanging at the bar. So that was like also fun to see sometimes how like really good rolls, where that leads to an unexpected story turn. Wishes. Don't know that I got any. We got some Sean action. I did think to answer one of my questions. Did not make love to a dark entity. There's been no sex for me for a long time.
Yeah.
It's a dry spell for Vareth. Yeah, nothing else comes to mind, really.
Cool. Let's do Peter.
I did like the little background touches of like Cyrus being very concerned that we are focusing on the goose when like London is about to be destroyed. Definite star for the threat that we're facing of just like being able to annihilate anyone into the void. with an eye towards destroying all of London high society. Jeff's kiss on that. Just stars for I had so much fun during that Portia scene. I felt like it was weird in that it felt like I was trying to make Francis not lose or not face the difficult decision of whether to betray the team or not, but it still ultimately felt true to the character that it was like, you know, showing a card trick to a dog. And I did love the brazen lie leading to that weird little scenario of, yeah, now we're just having tea and a conversation while Cyrus is in the next room. I loved everybody, or a star for everybody being willing to go along on my like raising the absurdity level of exactly what happened to Lewis. I do love the twist of like, oh wait, it was actually saving his life.
Yeah.
Wishes. I'm really excited to dig into confronting the mastermind. Just structurally, I love the notion of the mastermind is doing something that only Victorian society would find bad. And playing with that tension will be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm eager to see things get really dire and see how our last masks end up going.
Yeah, I was looking at y'all. I have two of you have 3 masks to go before you die, and one of you has 4.
But yeah, it would.
And you still have the mask of the getter as well.
Oh yeah, we got to use that. Maybe we will use that while we're doing goose things. I guess we would have to, otherwise we'd lose it. But yeah, I think that's all the stars and wishes I can think of right now.
Cool. And Nick?
Yeah, I agree with what's been said before. I love that like backdrop of like there's this giant threat coming and we gotta save this goose because it's also urgent. Is that urgent important, Matrix? Yeah, I was kind of brain foggy tonight, so I was a little worried, but I like that as a group we can always make something even when we're not all feeling up to it. Yeah, and I'm having a lot of fun with Paloma, even though I keep not doing my checkmark things. I have a lot of fun with the Azrael thing of like being overprotective, but also like the push pull of like I want to be a good mom, but also I don't want him to get hurt. And that's been
and
fun
also
to play
he's
with.
Better than anyone here.
And also he's like the perfect human and is better than anybody. So bringing him to the bar was very fun, and the squirming that Paloma was doing was really fun. That's me.
Cool. No wishes?
Just a wish for my brain to work.
Yeah.
Wish my brain wasn't sawdust.
Same. Yeah, I was pretty brain foggy and slow tonight. Felt like too, but it was all good stuff. Yeah, I came in with absolutely no plan except for like I knew what Theodora's plan was, and yeah, I love like getting into trouble with Portia was great. I love that. Like, yeah, of course. And getting everyone into more trouble by having her leave her stick there was also fun. And that sort of quantum came into being when you got the last the roll for your solution roll. I was like, oh, I guess she left her thing there and spyglass now. That's fun. The solution to Lewis's thing is amazing. I can't wait to see. It feels like it's gonna be a tight night this time around. So oh boy. Yeah, so many good bits. Doing a like persuade roll with a knife was great, and not like
I was delighted that worked.
Super good. Sean, getting to see Sean is always fun. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing where this takes us. We've got one more night of Francis, and then less than a half dozen sessions with Theodora probably.
Oh.
yeah, so that's
Wow.
That's about it.
Kicking off, it sounds like.
yeah. She doesn't have a specific timer on her, but like y'all will probably get through it in a couple days. So yeah, fun. I'm eager to see some of those last masks come off for sure.
And then rolling up a new character.
I mean, so someone can just jump into Asriel really easily because the orphan is a playbook.
Or the American of here.
Yeah, is that my cowboy hat? I just came back from Transylvania cutting the head off a vampire. Let's go. Pew, pew, pew.
I hate him. I hate him.
God.
He's also a werewolf, so that's fine.
I miss Vareth.
Yeah, that's all I got. Anything before we shut down the stream?
No, thank you for a great night.
Yeah.
Hopefully I will be in good health next week.
Yeah, wishing
same.
you no COVID.
No whammies, no whammies.
No worries. All right, goodbye, internet.